Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for joining. My name is Patita Pavana Balaram Das. I am from the Bhakti Victory team. So we are here to discuss about Bhagavad Gita. Um, Thank you all for joining. We'll go to a quick round of introduction first, since this is our first class, and then we'll get started. Okay. If everyone can come on camera, that would be great. So it will be easy for me to put a name for a face if you're comfortable. Okay. Yeah. So who wants to go first? And also, I see some like iPhone like that. If you want to rename to your actual name, that would be great. Yeah, go ahead, Mataji. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Shailaja Reddy and I live in Montville, New Jersey. I would love to learn about Bhagavad Gita and I'm
Okay.
happy to be here.
Yeah. So when we are coming together like this, we also will do some icebreaker. So to keep the mood lighter. So I think you started off nicely to see what you are wanting from the course. You said you are very interested. Uh, yeah. So each of you can also say what you were expecting from this course, and did you know about Bhagavad Gita? Did you read Bhagavad Gita before? Okay. Uh, yeah. Thank you, Shailaja Mataji. So we are a part of the ISKCON organization, and here we call a woman as Mataji and then men as Prabhu to invoke respect and to everyone who we are speaking with.
Okay.
Yeah, nice. Anyone else wants to go next? Yeah, some people are saying they are in college and they can only listen. Yeah, that should be fine. Who wants to go next?
Dandavat
Hare,
Pranam.
yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Yeah, my name is Prachi.
Prachi.
Yeah. So I want to learn about Bhagavad Gita. Yes, I have read Bhagavad Gita many times, but I was not able to understand properly. So that's why I'm here to understand it deeply.
Very nice. Thank you for joining, Mataji. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranamam.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I'm Naveen. I live in New York. I have read Bhagavad Gita like several acharyas and Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, and also from yogic perspective, Yogananda, Madhusudan Saraswati, and like even ISKCON Prabhupada's as it is Bhagavad Gita, and also in the ISKCON family, the or the Acharya or the Sampradaya. I'm not able to get on top of my head. It is actually in Hindi. I have read that also. I've read a lot. So my expectation from this course is I want to see I want to know like how like ISKCON's certain interpretations are very novel, and they do not find any reference in many of these Bhagavad Gita bhashyas that I have just cited. So I would like to reconcile that position, and I will look forward with an humble expectation and see the best I can make of this 18-day course.
Very nice. Thank you for joining, Prabhu. Yeah, we will address all those questions with Krishna's mercy. Hopefully, we'll be able to answer your questions. Who wants to go next?
Hi, my name is Sayantini Chaudhary. I am in New Jersey, and I have not read Bhagavad Gita. That's the reason I was interested in attending this course. Because I've always wanted to read it, but it's just that I've been procrastinating and never doing it. So I thought I'll attend this at least. It's a starting.
Very nice. Yeah. So sooner or later, we all have to read Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
And then this is a very auspicious time. It is the month of Kartik, and starting reading Bhagavad Gita in month of Kartik. Any devotional activity that we do in the month of Kartik, the result get multiplied 1,000 times. So all of you who joined are really blessed with to be able to start this course today. So please continue this course until it completes, and it completes on Gita Jayanti day. So it will be the way it was arranged is so nice, where you start on Kartik and complete on the day of Gita Jayanti. Thank you so much, Sayanthini Mataji, for joining.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
My name is Ramya. I'm also from New Jersey. I've never read a Bhagavad Gita. I have heard the Mahabharata over Spotify. So this was just something that I was really interested in. And I came across, so I'm really excited and I look forward to hearing it.
Very nice.
And
Thank you so
learning.
much, Ramya Mataji, for joining.
Hello, Prabhuji.
Anyone else?
This is Vijay here. I'm here to introduce Bhagavad Gita to my son, who is 7 years age. I'm from New Jersey and looking forward to get him introduced to how our epics are. So that's the reason I joined.
So both you and son are joining together?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's
Hare Krishna, what's your name?
Kartikeya.
Kartikeya. Oh, nice. Did you know Bhagavad Gita? Who spoke Bhagavad Gita?
No?
Okay, we'll learn all those things. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. My name is Anu. I am also from New Jersey, and I have not read the Bhagavad Gita, but I have a strong interest in it and have been wanting to do it. I've talked to my daughter, my 13-year-old daughter, that we'll read it together over the summer. So this really would be my first introduction to the Gita. I have been interested in it more from a spiritual aspect than from a religious aspect. So I'm hoping that I'll get some insights into that part through this course.
That's a great point. So Bhagavad Gita, we think that it's spoken by Krishna, and Krishna is, we think that it is part of the Hindu religion, but no, Bhagavad Gita transcends all the religious principles. It is a spiritual guidebook for everyone, whether we are Hindu, Muslim, or Christian. Everybody can gain immense benefit by reading Bhagavad Gita, and their life will get transformed. And once we complete reading, we'll realize that, oh, this is not a religious book. And people who have read Bhagavad Gita, they started taking spirituality, and it because they can see the difference. Thank you so much for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Who wants
Hi,
to go next?
my name is Shilpa. I'm from New Jersey. I've never read the Bhagavad Gita before, but I would like to start. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to learn and then make it easy to understand.
Yes. So whoever did not read Bhagavad Gita will also see, or whoever read Bhagavad Gita still could not grasp completely, we'll see the secret why it is the case. Because Bhagavad Gita, we have to read under the guidance of acharyas. And yeah, we'll read that the acharya that the book we are using is written by Srila Prabhupada. He is the founder of ISKCON, and the way he explains is so clear. If we read those purports, we'll be able to gain a better understanding. So we'll discuss all those throughout this, but this is just an introductory course. The real course would take at least an year or a year and a half. But once this 18-day course is complete, and if you feel like, yes, this is, I want to go dig deeper, we'll always have more programs. Who wants to go next?
Hi. Hi, I can go next. Hi, this is Ahmed. I'm joining from Charlotte. I'm here to learn about Bhagavad Gita. I never read it before, so this was my starting journey, I would say, to know about Gita and get started, and
Very
at
nice.
least not have to go through that hump and fail. So I'm hoping to get some traction with you, someone being on the side to teach about Gita. So that's my hope. And I have my wife as well joining with me. She's on another call here. Her name is Lira as well.
Okay, nice.
Lira, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself. Thank you.
Thank you for joining, Amit Prabhu.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you both for joining, you and your wife. So you said you're from Charlotte. How did you know about this course? How did you find out?
From a group, and that's how I got to know about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anyone else? So if we cannot complete everyone, we can also go through these quick introductions, maybe in the next classes as they come. But yeah, whoever wants to share, please share. So it will be easy for us.
Hi, my name is Sindhu. I haven't read the Bhagavad Gita before. I have only seen some movies about Krishna. I want to introduce Bhagavad Gita to my kid, and I want to teach him good things and culture, about our culture and all. So he is there. He is 8 years old, and I live in New Jersey, Secaucus.
Very nice. Thank you for joining. So one thing I would say is like kids are very much showing interest. That's great. But sometimes Bhagavad Gita is too deep for them, but we'll try to explain the way they can understand. But this is mainly focused towards adults because most of the folks are adults. And if the adults in the house are learned about Bhagavad Gita, kids emulate what the parents do, right? So if the parents know about Bhagavad Gita and apply the principles of Bhagavad Gita in their life, kids automatically will follow. So it's mutually beneficial. Thank you for joining, both of you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. This is Kiran Kumar. I'm attending from New Jersey. During my school days, I have learned the Bhagavad Gita. I have understood a couple of points teach by Krishna to Arjuna. So the main purpose of attending this course is to advance more into the spiritual knowledge and apply the principles taught by Krishna to Arjuna in the real life. And at the same time, I want to purify myself and progress in spiritual life, Prabhuji. That's the main reason I'm attending from New Jersey.
Very nice. Yeah, nice to see you again, Krishna, Kiran Kumar Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anyone else?
I can go next. Hello, everyone. This is Akash. I'm from Virginia. I have started reading the Bhagavad Gita. Just read the first chapter. I come to know about this class from my mutual friend in New Jersey, and she encouraged me to attend it. I want to enlighten myself in the spirituality. I want to see if other people perspective, also Guruji's and everyone's perspective, like what is the good path for spirituality, and want to go in the right way.
Very nice. Thank you for joining. Your name?
Akash.
Akash, yeah, it's just Mon's icon. Okay. Thank you for joining. And I would say that it is very difficult to make the mind sit and listen to the spiritual topics, right? Because there are two types of benefits. One that comes right away. Those are all the material benefits. So if you go to a movie, we get pleasure right away. But then the pleasure doesn't stay long. But the spiritual topics are such, you have to put a lot of effort. But once you see the fruit of those actions, the pleasure that you get from those is incomparable. You cannot even compare. So what I would recommend everyone who joined is make yourself a vow that for the next 18 days, no matter what, I am going to spend the 7:30 to 8:30 in this class. And after 18 days, you just tell the mind, I will give you full freedom to decide whether to continue this or not. Because in Bhagavad Gita, 18 chapters are there. You will not get everything, all your answers answered in one class, right? 18 chapters were there because Arjuna was asking Krishna all the questions throughout the book, throughout the whole Bhagavad Gita. And we will realize that the questions that Arjuna is asking is actually the questions that we have as we go through our life. So we have just make a commitment that this is the month of Kartik. I will attend these classes, and any questions that you have, keep asking. We want this session to be very interactive. We keep, if it make it one way where we keep on telling you the details, and then it goes, you might go through, you might understand, but then if it is not making, if it is, you are not getting the conviction, it's of no use. So unless you ask questions, clarify all your doubts, it won't be really as much beneficial. So just feel free to ask any questions that you have. Okay. Thank you for joining. Who wants to go next?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Dhanavad
Dhanavad
Pranam.
Pranam.
This is Maithili. I joined from New Jersey. I attended earlier, I read the Bhagavad Gita earlier, but in this month of Kartika, I want to learn more and be in the spiritual. That's why I'm attending, because Bhagavad Gita, once you read also, we cannot completely understand. There are many things, many points we need to understand. So reading Bhagavad Gita as many times, it'll really help. So and on this Kartika month, I want to attend. That's why I attended this program, Mata Prabhuji.
Very nice, Maithili Mataji. Nice to see you again. Thank you for
Thank you.
joining. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, should we start? Anyone wants to introduce? We'll give maybe another 3-4 people chance to introduce and we'll get started. I'll randomly call some. Murali Yara, are you there? I see some new names. I'm just randomly calling.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, yes, I'm there.
Hare
I'm
Krishna.
from New Jersey, Montville. Just like others, right? Wanted to give it a try on reading Bhagavad Gita and understanding it.
Very nice. Kedar Toshniwal. Hare Krishna. Kedar Babu. We cannot hear you for some reason.
I'll go next, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Pravalika Mataji, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm from New Jersey. I have seen so many movies and even the series too regarding the Bhagavad Gita. But yeah, I have changed a lot after watching those serials and even the movies. But I want to implement. I mean, I want to go in the right path, and even like I want to know more about the shlokas. And I want to. I mean, be a right and nice person.
Very nice. Yeah, you will. The moment we read Bhagavad Gita, we start applying those principles. We don't have to put any effort. We automatically will become nice person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Tanish Samal.
Hare Krishna, can I go?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah, I'm Kedar. I'm from New Jersey. I haven't read Bhagavad Gita before, but I wanted to join this course to set a base because when I want to learn more about Bhagavad Gita, this will be a good base for it, and that's my reason to join the course.
Okay, great. Okay, so yeah, we have more people, but in the interest of time, we'll get started. And please, if you haven't introduced yourself and you have a question, just unmute and then say your name and where you're from, and then you can ask the question. I'll start sharing my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Can you still see my screen? Slideshow view?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we are now discussing about the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The knowledge, Gyan means the knowledge of Gita. And we have started this in the month of Kartik. Anyone wants to read what is the benefit of reading Bhagavad Gita in the month of Kartik? That is shown on the slide. So one thing is Bhagavad Gita is a song. Gita means what? Song. Bhagavad means from Supreme Lord. So it was a song sung by the Supreme Lord in the Kurukshetra, the battle. And it is not like mantras. It is just like a song. So when we are reading Bhagavad Gita, one fear we have is, am I reading the verse sloka correctly or not? We can happily read without any problem. There will be different things. Mantras are separate, and then these songs are separate. So even if it is not pronounced properly, nothing will be. It's all benefit only when we read this kind of things. So Gita Shastra Vinodena Kartikam Yo Nayen Naraha Natasya Punar Avrittir Maya Drusta Kalipriya. Who wants to read the translation? Anyone wants?
Yes.
Go ahead.
O Narada, I have personally seen that a person who happily reads Bhagavad Gita during the month of Kartika does not return to world of birth and death. Hari Bhakti Vilasa, 16.68.
Yeah, so that was taken from that book, Hari Bhakti Vilasa. It says that whoever reads Bhagavad Gita during the month of Kartik will not take birth again in this material world. So all of us has the opportunity to happily read Bhagavad Gita and end the cycle of birth and death. So before we discuss any spiritual topics, we seek the blessings of the Supreme Lord and the Acharyas. So for that, we have to say some prayers. So here, speaking here, I will be able to deliver the message properly, and you sitting on the other side of the screen, you will be able to receive that in the way that it's meant to be received. So we will say the pranam mantras. Please say after me. Om Agnana
Om Agnana
Timirandasya
Dasya
Gnananjana
Gnananjana
Shalakaya
Salakaya
Chakshur
Chakshur
Unmilitam
Unmilatam
Ena
Yana
Tasmai Sri
Tasmai Shri
Gurave Namaha
Gurave Namaha
Nama Om
Nama Om
Vishnupadaya
Vishnupadaya
Krishna Prestaya
Krishna Prasthaya
Bhutale
Bhutale
Srimate
Srimate
Bhaktivedanta
Bhakti Vedanta
Swamin
Swamin
Iti Namine
Iti Namine
Namaste
Namaste
Saraswate Deve
Saraswate Deve
Gauravani
Gauravani
Pracharine
Pracharine
Nirvishesha
Nirvisesa
Shunyavadi
Sunyavadi
Paschatya
Paschatya
Deshatarine
Desatarine
Jai Shri Krishna
Jai Shri Krishna
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda
Prabhu Nityananda
Shri Advaita
Shri Advaita
Gadadhara
Gadadhara
Shri Vasadi
Shri Vasadi
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Gaura Bhakta Brinda
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
The last two lines we will say all together two more times. Please put your hands up and say Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
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 Hare
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 Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
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 Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Nice. So we are dedicating this course to the author of Bhagavad Gita as it is. He is the founder Acharya of ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. His name is His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He came at the age of 70 years to USA based on the instructions of his spiritual master to spread the Krishna consciousness movement in the West. And within a period of 12 years, he built 108 temples across the world. He traveled 14 times into around the globe to different countries.
Wow.
And he, in that age, he was able to bring around 4,000 people as his disciples. And it was just as his disciples, but they spread the movement. They spread about Krishna consciousness to the whole world. And it was part of a prophecy that was done that was given already in the scriptures that we are in this period where the names of Krishna will be sung around every town and village in the entire world. And it is the indication that Prabhupada is the person who kicked off that prophecy to be true. So one of the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada is His Holiness Jayapataka Swami. He is my spiritual master and the spiritual master for many people in the Bhakti Riksha team. So we are inspired to conduct this course based on his blessings. So someone was mentioning about Shankaracharya. So Shankaracharya himself told the importance of Gita, reading Bhagavad Gita. It's in his Gita Mahatmya. Anyone wants to read the verse? Please go ahead.
गीताशास्त्रम् इदं पुण्यं यः पठेत् प्रयतः पुमान् विष्णोपदम् अवाप्नोति भयशोकादिवर्जिता. One
Please read.
with a regulated mind reciting this Bhagavad Gita scripture, which is the bestower of all virtue, will attain to a holy abode such as Vaikuntha, the residence of Lord Vishnu, which is always free from the mundane qualities based on fear and lamentation.
Right. So whoever reads Bhagavad Gita with a regulated mind, we know that mind is very much difficult to control, but we have to control it. And with the devotion, if we read Bhagavad Gita, what happens? We get the biggest virtue, which is Vaikuntha. The place we are currently in is not Vaikuntha. Vai means no, Kunta means miseries. So, is there anyone in this current in this world who says that they don't have any miseries? Can raise their hand. Okay, so all of us have miseries and difficulties. Everyone, you cannot. No person in this world says that they are completely free from miseries. But if we take to the process of Bhagavad Gita, we reach the place called Vaikuntha where there are no miseries at all. Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters we discussed. So today's topic is chapter 1, and Bhagavad Gita is divided into 3 sections. First 6 chapters deals about Karma Yoga. The next 6 chapters deal about Bhakti Yoga. The next last 6 chapters deal about Jnana Yoga. And Bhagavad Gita is also called Gita Upanishad. So anyone knows what an Upanishad is? So anyone knows what Vedas are? How many Vedas are there?
4 Vedas.
4 Vedas.
Anyone knows the names?
Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Athar Veda, Sam Veda.
Very nice. So the Vedas was initially one, and it was transmitted orally from the spiritual master to the disciple. It was not written in a form of a book. All the transcendental knowledge was transferred from one person to another using disciplic succession. But when Vedavyasa, who saw that, okay, the impending Kali Yuga, people will not be able to remember, their mind is not as powerful as the previous yugas, they will not be able to remember, and they will be able to, they are also short-lived, so they will not be able to spend as much time in doing the sadhana. So what he did was, he converted that one Veda into, he written those as 4 Vedas. The same one Veda was written in 4 books, the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda. And when we say Vedas, it is the axiomatic truth. We can spend lifetime after lifetime doing experiments. The results that we get is already what Vedas says. So the acharyas, the knowledge that is there in Vedas, you can take it with it's a testimony, means like it is already approved and authorized. And Upanishads are the actual knowledge that is taken from the Vedas. So Vedas has multiple, each Veda has divided into the Krishna white section and the dark section, the Krishna and Shweta part of it, 2 parts. And Vedas have multiple chapters, and each chapter at the end has something called an Upanishad. Also means Vedas has so many things. It will tell you to get a particular benefit by doing some ritual, and what are the, if somebody is interested in getting different yogic powers, it also describes how to do that. But at the end of each of those chapters, it gives something called an Upanishad, which is what is the reason why we came here and why we have to do these rituals. And Bhagavad Gita is called Gita Upanishad because whatever you find in Bhagavad Gita is exactly there in the Vedas. You can spend, you can learn Sanskrit for maybe 20-30 years, understand all the Sanskrit grammar, find some copies of the Vedas, and read all the Vedas for the next 30-40 years. then try to understand the meaning of it, or you can read Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is the essence of Vedas, and if you read Bhagavad Gita and you understand it, it means that you understand all the Vedas also. That's why it's called Gita Upanishad. And there are 5 topics that are discussed in Bhagavad Gita. The 5 topics are: one is called the Jiva or Atma, which is the living entity. We are all here. So who am I? The first question we have to ask is, who am I? Why am I here? So that Atato Brahma Jignasa is what it is called in the Vedanta Sutras. A person, when they ask the question, who am I? That's when their purpose of human life is started, their exploration. And the next thing that is mentioned is Jiva and Prakriti, means the material world. Why we are here? Does anyone know why we are here? All of us have a one common purpose. Do you know what it is?
To get moksha.
But some people might not know what moksha is.
Oh, to do dharma or karma?
What if they don't know what dharma or karma is?
Prabhu, we are here because of our karma.
Yeah, so we are here. I'm not asking what brought us here. I'm saying when we are here, what are we doing in general? Like in our day-to-day life, what are we
world.
seeking?
To serve the world.
Actually, we want free from.
To serve family.
Why we are doing all those things?
As per the Veda, there are 4 Purusharthas: Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So we are actually like, I think we are like conducting ourselves in the mode of Dharma, and also everyone is in the acquisition of Artha, and definitely everyone has the Kama or the Ichha or the desire, and now it's the Moksha, which is to be attained, which is, they say, is the primary or the main Purushartha.
Yeah, so you guys are very much advanced. That's great that you have so much knowledge. But if we are speaking to people who don't know about the Hindu philosophy, right? But whether it is an American or a Russian or a Chinese or an Indian, we all are running after something. What is it?
Yeah, Artha, that's what we are running after.
Happiness.
Happiness. Yes, who told? Yeah, Tanish Mataji. Yeah.
This I'm not Tanish Mataji. I'm Tanish mom, Prachi.
Okay. Oh, Prachi. Yeah. So, wait, you take any person in this world, they are trying to be happy. Is there anyone who is not trying to be happy? Can raise their hand. So we all have one purpose, which is whether we know there is Krishna, whether we know there is Vedas, whether we know there is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, whether we know there is, to keep it very simple, we all are doing different things to become happy. The desires that we have, that comes as the Kama. So in order to become happy, what do? We so the family, so the kids and world and all. That essentially means we are working. So the third topic in Bhagavad Gita is called karma. And karma has 2 meanings. It is the work that we do, and also every work in this world comes back with the reaction. So the reactions that we get. The fourth topic in Bhagavad Gita is kala. Kala means
Time.
Time, yes. So everything in this world is temporary. It is bound by time. And finally, is there anyone who is controlling this world, who is not bound by time, and who is free from, who can remove the karma for everyone? Who is there anyone like that?
Supreme Personality, Krishna, God.
Yes. So Bhagavad Gita establishes that beyond this world there is another world, and it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Ishvara. He is the controller of both the spiritual world and the material world. So those are the 5 topics, which is Jiva or Atma, Prakriti, this material world, karma, the work we do to get happiness, everything is bound by time, and finally there is a controller, the supreme controller, who is Ishvara. So these are the 5 topics that are discussed in Bhagavad Gita, and we are in the, let's see. So we are in chapter 1, observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So it starts with the first verse, Dhritarashtra. Anyone wants to read the verse and the translation?
धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सव मामका पाण्डवाश्चैव किं कुर्वत Sanjaya? Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do?
Nice. So the Bhagavad Gita starts off with Dhritarashtra asking Sanjaya the question, hey Sanjaya, like all the sons of Pandu and my sons, they have assembled in Kurukshetra to fight. What are they doing there? What did they do once they assembled? And Sanjaya has a benefit boon from his spiritual master Vyas that he can see with his Divya Drishti, like all the things that are happening in Kurukshetra, so he can explain. He explains that to Dhritarashtra. Okay, in here in Bhagavad Gita, it is 18 chapters, and it was it has 700 verses total, and in those 700 verses, Krishna spoke 574 verses, Arjuna spoke 84, Sanjaya spoke 41, and how many verses did Dhritarashtra speak?
None.
How many?
Maybe. Oh, no.
We are seeing one here, right? So how many did he speak total?
One for each of the chapters.
Yeah, so you're close, but he spoke only one. So the Bhagavad Gita starts off with one, that his only verse that he spoke. Everything else is either Sanjaya, Arjuna, or Krishna. Yeah. So, and everyone knows Mahabharata. I'll take a few minutes to explain Mahabharata and why. I mean, if I don't establish that, and we'll say that, oh, they came here to fight, but why did they come there to fight? Do you think, like, who thinks that Pandavas wanted to fight? Can raise their hand. Who think that Kauravas wanted to fight? Can raise their hand. So essentially, Krishna, the first question a lot of people ask is, why did Krishna allow the 2 cousins to fight? Why did he not arrange for a peace treaty between them? Anyone knows what the answer for that is?
Is it a fight between rights and dharma and adharma?
Yes. But then why did Krishna not try to stop? Because even though it is fight between dharma and adharma, he could have convinced both and showed Duryodhana, you're doing the wrong thing. You are supposed to stand on your word. And why did he not do that?
Kauravas adharma is increasing day by day. To kill that adharma, Krishna, this Kurukshetra happened, and it's there to demolish. God will be appearing when there is more adharma, like that. So that's why.
Yes, those are all great answers. But these are the questions when somebody asks, if we don't read Bhagavad Gita and if we don't have the grip on Srimad Bhagavatam, we will not able to convince them why we are following the greatest dharma in the planet, which is Sanatana Dharma. Krishna actually did that. The question I asked is not correct. I said that why did Krishna not do that? But if you know the answer, you would say, Prabhu, your question itself is wrong. Krishna actually did that. So the Kauravas and Pandavas, we know Kauravas tricked Pandavas in the battle of dice. Some people will also ask the question, oh, Yudhishthira, why did he first of all go to the game of dice? He could not have risked this kingdom, and why? So it's Pandava's mistake, something like that. But we'll get answer that question also. But essentially, the game of dice happened, and in the game of dice, Pandavas lose everything because Sekuni and Duryodhana, they play the trick with the dice, that is um, um, cheated using cheating illegal means. Not illegal, they're cheating. They cheat with the dice and then they get the numbers that they want and they take everything from Pandavas. So the Pandavas were sent to forest to stay for 14 years, 13 years in the forest and 1 year in incognito, means like nobody should know where the Pandavas are. After 14 years is complete, the Pandavas come back and ask Duryodhana, hey, Duryodhana, like you said, like we have to go to the forest, we lost everything. Yes, now we came back. Give us our kingdom that you took away from us. What does Duryodhana say? Does he give back the kingdom?
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't. So then they come back empty-handed, disappointed, and they say, Krishna, what this is happening? And Krishna even tries to convince them, hey, that's okay. Like you let me go and ask them to give them. So now the question comes is the Pandavas and Kauravas, they are Kshatriyas. Every person in the society has a dharma which they have to follow. For the Kshatriyas, the rulers, they have the set of principles that they have to follow. One of the principle is if someone comes and challenges a Kshatriya to fight, either through battle or through a game of dice, a Kshatriya should not deny that his dharma. So that's why when Kauravas come and invite Yudhishthira to play the dice, as per the Kshatriya dharma, Yudhishthira has to go and play. Some people who say that, oh, why did the Yudhishthira go and play? They don't know that. So, and if we don't know the reason, we will not be able to answer that question. Oh, yes, why did Yudhishthira not go? And we'll start doubting our own thing. So, first of all, we all have to know thoroughly our scriptures and the Mahabharata and Ramayana. Even Ramayana, there will so many questions that were raised, but everything there is an answer. So in here, it was the dharma of a Kshatriya to go and accept the game of dice, and that's why they lost the kingdom because they were cheated. And then once they came back, a Kshatriya cannot do what other orders in the society do. Those are also the different orders that we read in Bhagavad Gita, which is what a person has to do. The Kshatriya's right is to protect the people around him. So, if a person does the thing that is not his prescribed duty, he is bound to fail. So that's why then Krishna goes with a proposal. Hey Duryodhana, like these Pandavas went for the Vanvas, which is the going to the forest. Now they spent those 14 years. They came back. You know, you are Kshatriya, they are Kshatriyas. A Kshatriya cannot live without conducting a kingdom. So why don't you give them 5 small villages, whichever you choose? Give them 5 villages, and each of the Pandava will rule those 5 villages. They will not even be bothering you. They will live happily. Both of you can live happily. What does Duryodhana say?
He doesn't agree.
So Duryodhana, out of his arrogance, he says that, hey Krishna, what are you saying? Do whatever you want. Forget about the 5 villages. I am not going to give the Pandavas even the land occupied by the tip of a needle. So you take a needle and you put it on the ground, how much it occupies? A small area, a minute area, negligible area. Duryodhana, out of his arrogance, says that I am not going to give even that. And he goes to the extent that he tries to arrest Krishna. Krishna went as a messenger. As per Dharma, you are not supposed to harm the messenger. But Duryodhana tries to put Krishna in jail by arresting him. Of course, Krishna being the Supreme Lord, he shows his partial universal form, and everybody gets scared, and he comes back. And all the elders like Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana, Bhishma, they all are not stopping Duryodhana. Of course, they gave up on Duryodhana. They tried to advise him, he never listened. So that's the other problem. We'll all read this why they are compelled to fight on the Duryodhana, Kaurava side. But essentially, what we understand is it's not that Krishna tried to convince the two cousins to live happily. He did all he wanted. And we can ask, if Krishna is the Supreme Lord, why did he not force the Kauravas to do the right thing? And if we don't know the answer, this is a little philosophical. Krishna, the Supreme Lord, will not force anyone. So, for example, you all came here to read Bhagavad Gita. Krishna, if he really wants to force, he can force the whole entire world to read Bhagavad Gita. But that is not the case. Krishna will give free will. He respects everyone's free will. If you want to read Bhagavad Gita, yes, he will give you the opportunity to read Bhagavad Gita. If you don't want to read, yes, he will give you the opportunity to not read Bhagavad Gita and spend your time on browsing or internet or watching TV or like. So, in that, if there is no free will, there is no meaning of the living entity. So, a living entity has freedom, and Krishna respects that freedom. Similarly, here, um, Krishna respected the freedom of Duryodhana, which is to stand on the wrong side, and he also and Pandavas who surrendered to Krishna, he was there for them to help them. So what we have to understand is, if we take one step towards the Supreme Lord, towards spirituality, Krishna, the Supreme Lord, will take 10 steps and help us go forward in the spiritual progress. And as they assembled, any questions on the Mahabharata and the background of the Kurukshetra war? Because that, yeah, go ahead.
Prabhuji, actually, the previous one, I have one question. It says,
Yes.
Kimakurvata Sanjaya. So Sanjaya was blessed with the power to foresee or to relay at a distance what the events that are happening
Yes.
to Dhritarashtra, who was blind. So the Kim Akurvata Sanjaya is what did they do? Like, in the sense, it is in the past tense. So can we infer that actually it is not a minute-to-minute replay of what is happening on the Kurukshetra, but it is already events that have happened that Sanjaya is relaying, because the tense is used in the past tense. It's not in the present tense as what they are doing now. They're saying what did they do, like, in the sense. So it's already things have happened. So can we infer that?
It could be like it could be past tense on verse 1.1, right? Which is, they might have started this session when they already assembled, but then we can say that Sanjay might have caught up Dhritarashtra within first few minutes. So somebody might have gone into a theater after the title cards were over, and further they might ask the person, "Hey, what did the title cards say?" But the person catches up that person, and from that time onwards, they are looking at the movie live. So yeah, maybe the verse one would be, from grammatical standpoint, they might ask, hey, they might have already assembled, but after 15 minutes or 30 minutes, the Thrastra and Sanjay might have sat together, and he might have asked, hey, as per the time, sunrise already happened and they are supposed to fight today. What did they do so far? So then Sanjay might have explained what they did, and then from that point onwards, Sanjay might have related, because we can clearly understand that Sanjay had the vision to see live everything that was happening. So one thing is, we should not get too much caught up on grammar. But yeah, yours is that can be the valid answer for that one, which is initial verses, there might be a little bit behind on time, but then after that they catch up.
Dhanyasmi Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions on this verse or the background of Bhagavad Gita, the background on the Mahabharata? And if you have any questions that come up where people ask these questions, um, about Pandavas, there are so many people that they say that Pandavas are on the wrong side and all. Just you first try to understand what the philosophy is behind it and what they did and why they did that. You'll be able to answer them easily. There is a reason why Mahabharata and Ramayana were the guidebooks for the whole society, and people try to find mistakes there, they don't know, and people who are not able to answer them, they don't know. So instead of fighting and getting emotional or sentimental, that, oh, this, we have to just put effort to understand ourselves. And once they assemble, the first thing each of the both parties do is to blow their conch shells. That is the indication that they are both ready to fight. So without blowing the conch shell, it would appear that both, it might appear, if that thing is not done, the indication is that one party may not be ready to fight. But if both the conch shells on both sides are blown, then it means that both sides are, yes, they are indeed ready to fight and the battle can happen. Anyone wants to read the verse?
पञ्चजन्यं ऋषिकेशो देवादत्तं धनञ्जयः पौन्द्रं दद्मौ महाशङ्खं भीमाकर्मा वृकोदरः. Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his the Devadatta, and Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of the Herculean task, blew his terrific conch shell called Poundra. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So here the mention of the conch shells were mentioned. And even the conch shells that they have names, which means that they are like divine conch shells that the Pandavas have. Yeah. Next, after looking at armies on both sides, Arjuna tells Krishna to do this. What does he tell? Anyone wants to read? Arjuna Uvacha. You can repeat.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Senayorubayormadye
सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये
Ratam Stapaya Me Achyuta
रथं
Ratam
स्थापय मे अच्युता
Yavad Etan Niriksheham
यावत् एतान् निरीक्षेऽहं
Nirikshesham
Yodhu Kaman Avastitan
योद्धुकामान्
Yodukaman
अवस्थितान्
Avasthitan
Kairmaya Saha Yodhavyam
Kayarmaya
मया सह
Saha
योद्धव्यम्
Yodhavyam
Asmin Rana Samudyame.
अस्मिन्
Asmin
रणसमुद्यमे.
Ranasamudyane.
Anyone wants to read the translation?
Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms.
So Arjuna wants to see who on the Kaurava side came here to fight. So he asked Krishna, "Hey Krishna, please take me to the middle of the battleground where I can see middle of both armies, where I can see the people who came to fight." And what the symptoms of Arjuna we can see from there, once he sees all the armies, his body starts quivering, shivering, like shaking. His mouth is drying up. His whole body is trembling. The hairs on his body is standing on the end, means goosebumps. And the bow on his hand is slipping from his hand. And his skin is started burning. And he's unable to stand there any longer. All these are different verses that clearly explain his symptoms that he's experiencing. He forgets himself and his mind is reeling. And he only sees causes of misfortune. So, in order to understand the gravity of the situation, imagine you have relatives, right? And then at any point of time, there could be some misunderstanding between relatives and they either don't speak or they even go to the extent of quarreling. Imagine you are standing there and ready to fight, and the outcome is one of you have to die. Either the relative has to die or you have to die. Just close your eyes and imagine that scenario, and all those things that Arjuna is experiencing will be experiencing. We all will be experiencing also, because they have been the people who have been growing up from childhood, and just because of something that we are ready to fight with them and we lose them or we lose to them. So imagine that situation where Arjuna is ready to fight with all his sons, grandsons on both sides, and he knew that the only outcome of a battle is death. And he becomes overwhelmed with compassion. Then at that point, he also will read in the upcoming chapters that says, Krishna, I don't even want the kingdom. And, I just will go, and but Krishna will, then we'll discuss about the whole dharma aspects of it. So he gives 5 reasons why, after looking at the army on both sides, Arjuna doesn't, he says, I don't want to fight Krishna. Those are covered in verses 28 to 30, 31 to 35, like that. So the first one is compassion towards friends and relatives. All the people around him are his friends and relatives, and he knows that he is very compassionate because the outcome of the battle is death only. And the second reason he gives is, even though, let's say, I win the battle, Krishna, all my relatives, grandsons, sons, and sons, when he says sons, it means that the sons of the cousins, all of them are going to die. Let's say you, same thing, like you have a lot of friends and relatives, and everyone who knows about you, they die. And what is the point if you get the kingdom? People want to get kingdom when they want to enjoy with their relatives and friends who also become happy, right? So if there is nobody else to share that happiness, you yourself will be victorious. What is the point? There is no enjoyment. And then he doesn't know that if he is going to kill all these people, how much bad karma, how much sinful reactions he is going to get. He's afraid of those things. And finally, he's thinking about the all of the entire army, not just his relatives, but people who came from different parts of the world. We think that Bharatavarsha means the India, Afghanistan, Pakistan. No. We read from scriptures that the entire globe was following Sanatan Dharma. So just like you have USA, capital is Washington DC. So we say that, oh, Washington DC is mentioned as capital, only the 100 or 200 miles around that is USA, everything else is not USA. No, for every place, country, there is a capital. Similarly, every kingdom, there is a capital. The entire world, whether it is South America, North America, Africa, Europe, China, Australia, those are all ruled during the time of Kurukshetra war by from Hastinapur, which is the place near Delhi. So what he is thinking is all the people from around the world, from different like Europe, Turkey, and all who came to fight on the side of Kauravas or Pandavas, they are going to die. If the soldiers die, what happens? The women in the family become widows, and if somebody is a single mom, or if somebody is single, the society will be trying to take advantage of them, and they will be exploiting them. In that case, they'll be um, um, people who unwanted children is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, they will be born. And when people are without a father, if they are born, then they take up to the wrong things, and dharma will spread like anything. So that was the reason that Arjuna is giving. So many soldiers from around the world have come here. If they die, imagine the population that will come up. And last and but not the least is, it's the most important. And this is where we all will relate to Arjuna. And at this point, we came this far. Arjuna doesn't know what is right, what is wrong. Is it correct to fight, or is it? If it is correct to fight, yeah, other reasons doesn't make sense. Like he can follow. He can use that reasoning to uh, not worry about the other reasons. But he doesn't know is fighting the right thing to do or is not fighting the right thing to do. That's why it is decision. And why we say that we have to relate to Arjuna here is every step of the way in our life we came across this scenario. Okay, is this the right thing to do? If our boss is not treating us properly, is it the right thing to stay in the job, or is it the right thing to move a different job? If we are having some problem in the thing, is it the right thing to discipline the child, or is it not? If we have a quarrel in the family, is it right thing to ignore that and go with friends and relatives, or is it the so every step of the way we come with indecision, and and unless we know what the right thing to do in a given situation is, we tend to do the wrong thing. So that's why Arjuna is worried about or not sure what the correct thing to do is. So what he does is, we'll read in the next chapter, that he surrenders to Krishna. What we have to understand from this, when we are faced with indecision in life, we have to seek the Supreme Lord. And how we can seek the Supreme Lord now? By following his words, which is Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita, that's why it's called a guidebook for humanity. Any question that you have, any problem that you have will be answered and solved if we follow the instructions of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Any questions before we close today's session? Is it easy to follow?
Yes. Very
Okay.
Thank you.
So what we recommend from Bhakti Vriksha team is that each of you get a personal copy of Bhagavad Gita. When you're reading Bhagavad Gita, Krishna reveals in different ways. So we can have different relationship with the Supreme Lord. We can this is Kartik month. I hope everyone knows the Damodar Leela, where Mother Yashoda tries to bind Krishna, and finally with Krishna's mercy, she was able to bind him, and Krishna pulls the wooden grinding motor within two Arjuna trees, which fall down, and two divine beings, Manikuvera and Manigriva, uh, Manigriva and Nalakuvera, they come out, and so that is a very nice pastime. So we can treat the Supreme Lord as our child, as little Krishna, or we can treat the Supreme Lord as Arjuna. So we can have the different relationship with the Supreme Lord, and in the similar way, Supreme Lord will reveal us in different manners. See, one verse will make one kind of impact with one person. A different verse might have a different impact. Verse 44 chapter 4, verse 34 can have a life-changing impact on one person. Chapter 9, verse 30, some can have a different impact. What I'm saying here is, if you get your own copy of personal Bhagavad Gita, you can use a pen or a pencil and underline all the things that made an impact on you. And if you keep reading those, new revelations will keep coming to you, and Krishna will speak to you through the book actually. So if you want the Bhagavad Gita, please reach out to us in WhatsApp, and then we can get that. We can give you that book. Okay. Any questions before we close?
Yeah, Prabhu, just some observations here. In order to connect the first chapter, the Kauravas and Pandavas and all are assembled and they are trying to fight, and whatever and all that you said, Arjuna is giving reasons. So in order to connect that to our life, we are actually not in our. I mean, they say there's a dharma kshetre, kurukshetre. It's the holy battlefield. So in our life, in our mind or in our body itself, there is always a positive flow and a negative force, which are always at quarrel with each other. So Sanjaya is actually is an intellect which actually drives which is conveying things to the blind senses, which is who's Dhritarashtra, the blind man. He's giving him is an introspecting power. Sanjay, being the introspecting power, is passing on the message to the blind senses and Dhritarashtra, and the concepts which you actually spoke about. So here Hrishikesha is Krishna is blowing his Panchajanya. Panchajanya can also be said like it's the creating of the Pancha is like the five elements. And then Dhananjaya is actually he's blowing his Devadatta. Dhananjaya is actually the conqueror of wealth. So he's blowing the Devadatta, which is actually fortune, and Vrikodara is actually the conch shell of Bhima, which is the shell of the Bhima, and Bhima is a terrible person. He's blowing Vrikodara is Bhima, and his conch shell is actually Poundra. So and he is actually blowing it. So this the inner force, because Krishna also says, right, he is the indweller. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hiddesha. So can we relate it in that manner where there is always there's a fight within us, as always the senses will say do something which is more favorable, while intellect is actually giving you trying to discern you, saying no, do something which is good. And these conch shells are these are actually like all the inner things that wage within ourselves. So in that way, I feel we can connect this first few verses which you have told.
Yeah. So if it inspires you, you can draw that analogy. But essentially, here one important thing I did not mention is during the introduction of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada writes one important thing, which is people can read Bhagavad Gita 100 times, 1000 times, but they will not be able to understand Bhagavad Gita. The reason is there is one thing that is lacking. We have to, the first thing is Bhagavad Gita will be understood if we have faith in Krishna. If we if we have, even theoretically, so if we want Bhagavad Gita to make an impact on us and we have to understand, the first thing is theoretically we have to at least accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord and that he is going to guide us through this. If we just relegate Krishna to a analogy, then it might not be making as much impact. So that's why Prabhupada named this book as Bhagavad Gita as it is. So if there is one simple interpretation of Kurukshetra battle happening, we have evidence of so many, like the whole Dwarka hidden or submerged in water, and that Kauravas and Arjunas fought in the battlefield. That interpretation is simpler, which is easy to understand. Then Krishna will guide us through that. If there are some people who want to inspire more people and draw their analogies, yes, they can draw, but then it only in that case we have to rely on our own effort. But yeah, what you said is also true, which is you have different yugas: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. During Satya Yuga, Lord Narasimha, Lord Varahadeva, they all appeared. At that time, it is mentioned that the good people and the bad people reside different planets. And during the Treta Yuga, when when Lord Rama came, the different planets, the good people and the bad people are residing on the same planet, which is the earthly planet. When the Dwapara Yuga came at the time of Krishna, the good people and bad people all are residing in the same family, like you see Kauravas and Pandavas. And when Kali Yuga came, good people and bad people are residing in the same person. So everybody has, like you said, two personalities. One is a good person and bad person. We have to make sure if Krishna comes and that's why we have to, if Krishna comes and says, hey, let's kill all the bad people, he basically have to kill the entire humanity in Kali Yuga because everybody is both good and bad. So that is the initial thing that you started with is, yes, that's a different acharyas give different perspectives, but for us to easily understand it better, we can take the simple interpretation, which is the as it is interpretation that Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, and Arjuna was able to transform his life by following the instructions of Krishna. And if we follow the same instructions, we'll also be able to transform our life.
Dhanyosmi Prabhu. The only reason is because Bhagavad Gita is a message to everyone. So how does the battle actually how do I relate to the battle? So in that
Same thing, like
context, I actually told the two aspects of within the person. That's
yeah,
it.
so that's why I mentioned, right, the indecision where Arjuna is the indecision that happens in our life constantly. Between what is good, what is bad. The good thing and the bad things are fighting within ourselves, and we are not able to figure out what is the good thing or bad thing. At the same time, Krishna is there to guide us through either the spiritual master or within the supreme as Paramatma within the heart itself. But the main thing we have to understand is we have the mind. These are little philosophical, which will come in later chapters. That the mind will sometimes trick us by telling, oh, it is Paramatma telling us to do this one. But until and unless we come to a stage of purity, it will be us, our mind only giving us instructions. So there are so many ways that mind will trick us. So that's why we have to put first effort on understanding Bhagavad Gita through a disciplic succession. And then by taking instructions from the spiritual master and making progress, then Krishna will start revealing from within. So what you said is happens, but if we start off from that aspect, there is high chance that mind will be playing tricks on us. So that's why we keep the interpretation simple and go from there. Does that help, Naveen Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. I mean, there is no. I mean, you talked about Krishna. There is no need to question his divinity because he himself is saying in the Bhagavad Gita, "Name viduhu suragana prabhava na maharshaya aham adirhi devanam." So he himself is saying that there's nothing to question here. I'm just trying to.
Yeah. But like I said, right? If some analogy inspires us, we can always look at that analogy. But then that analogy may be inspiring one person, but may not be inspiring the other person. But if the simple interpretation is taken, it can inspire everyone.
Yeah, Dhanyosmi Prabhu.
Any other questions? Yeah, if there are no questions, we will say the Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3 times and we'll close today's session. And then we'll continue tomorrow. One second, let me stop sharing the screen. Yeah. So you all have the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? Or let me share my screen. Okay, so we'll say the last 2 lines all together 5 times. Put your hands up. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Please, all of you unmute 4 more times. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
भगवान श्री
Hare
कृष्ण परमात्मा
Krishna.
की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय,
Jai,
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, all glorious to
Jai.
assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you.
Prabhuji. One
Yes,
question, Prabhuji.
yes, go ahead, Mataji.
Why do we put our hands like that, Prabhuji? Why don't we do Namaste and we
Yeah,
pray?
so that's a great question. So Namaste is also good, but here in devotion, when we put our hands up, which means that we are surrendering to Krishna. The whole idea is Krishna, we want you to guide us from this day forward. So if we put our hands up, which means that it's universal. If we say hands up, which means surrendering. So if we put our
Okay.
hands up in front of the Lord, that is a devotional act, which means that Krishna, I don't have anything else to do myself. I am leaving my whole life to you. Please come and guide me. Imagine that a person like a Supreme Lord comes and guides us. It will always be perfect. But if we try to do our own things, then we might make mistakes. So this whole purpose of this Bhagavad Gita reading is to attain that mood, that, oh Krishna, you please lead me from here.
Okay. Got it, Prabhuji.
Nice
Thank
question.
you.
Okay, so we'll close today's session. Thank you everyone. Hare Krishna. See you
Hare
tomorrow.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.